announced they're leaving the company just days after the electric truck maker announced it could go out of business. What this means for workers.
New vaccine coming. American company Novavax announces its COVID vaccine is 90% effective as it starts the approval process. How this vaccine could help end the global pandemic.
And rediscovering Ohio. With the health restrictions gone, if you're still nervous about being in huge crowds, we have some reassuring news. We talked to the experts about the real risks of being in large groups.
This morning at 9 o'clock, we had about 10, 12 people at the door waiting to come in.
Restarting activities. What people over 65 say they've been waiting for during the pandemic.
And Father's Day is less than a week away. We have suggestions from you, our viewers, on what to get Dad this year. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
It most certainly is, and we wish you a very good Monday afternoon. Thanks so much for choosing What's New. It is great to be with you again. I hope everybody had a terrific weekend. Alongside Betsy Kling, I am Jay Crawford. Good weekend?
Great weekend, yeah.
Wonderful.
I had a chance to get out a little bit. Friday was so beautiful. Saturday was so gorgeous. And worked yesterday, which was a great day to work. Had some nice rain that came down. Jason's going to join us in just a little bit with an update on that forecast. But first for us today at 5, his political resume is lengthy and impressive. And right now, Dennis Kucinich is getting ready to make an announcement about the upcoming Cleveland mayoral race. Tonight's announcement comes months after he filed paperwork with Cuyahoga County Board of Elections to let him raise money for a potential mayoral bid.
3 News' Lena Lai is live in Tremont, where he's expected to give his announcement any minute. Lena, rarely do politicians call the media together for a big announcement if they're not going to run. So I guess that's a giveaway, right?
Yes, that is a giveaway. He is indeed going to run for mayor just now, gathering at the podium right now, just stepping up to the podium. There he is, former Congressman Dennis Kucinich. To his left, his wife. Dennis Kucinich, certainly very much a familiar name in Northeast Ohio politics, having served as mayor for 2 years in the 70s, congressman in the late 90s and early 2000s, not to mention running for Ohio governor, U.S. Senate, and U.S. president in between. Now he is circling back to where his political career began and in his bid to become the next Cleveland mayor. Now, Kucinich, if you didn't grow up in the 70s, he was the youngest mayor ever elected to a major American city. He was 31, but, his youthful appearance earned him the nickname Boy Mayor. His tenure, often described, quite honestly, by many as quite the disaster, characterized by constant feuds with his city council, even fired his police chief during a live TV news conference at one point. But then in the late 90s, he ran and won a seat in the U.S. Congress and served as a longtime congressman, first elected in 96, and then eventually lost his seat to current Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur. Had a couple of failed bids for U.S. president, but now he's back. He's 74 years old now, and it'll be interesting to see what he has learned over his time, over his long political career, especially after 42 years now since he was first mayor. See what he's more contemplative right now at the age of 74. So we'll hear a little bit more of what he has to say coming up on our 6 o'clock show. And of course, more coming up at 11. Guys, back to you.
Lena, incredible. 42 years, and he's trying to run for that office one more time. Lena Lai, live from Tremont. Lena, thanks. We'll see you soon.
Well, now on your feet at 5, just a couple of years ago, it was seen as a savior of jobs and poised to be a leader in the electric vehicle innovation field. But now Lordstown Motors is in trouble. Today, the chief executive officer and chief financial officer both resigned from the company. Brandon Simmons joins us now. And Brandon, I got to tell you, this feels a little bit like a punch in the gut. All this hope and optimism, and now, boom, this.
Yeah, this is definitely a punch in the gut, but as we know that this isn't the first sign of trouble here at Lordstown Motors, but of course with the exit of the two most important people, the CEO and the CFO, obviously a lot of people are wondering what is the future here in Lordstown. Now just last week, we found out that the future of the company was in some serious trouble. During its earnings call, we learned that Lordstown Motors doesn't have enough money to start production of its endurance pickup truck that they hoped would be the first electric pickup truck to market, with production originally set to begin later this year in September. But this morning, an internal investigation revealed company leaders made, quote, misstatements about the demand for the planned pickup truck. And of course, at the same time that investigation was complete, both the CEO and CFO resigned. Now here in Lordstown, the news comes as another blow to the comeback of vehicle production here in Ohio.
We're wondering what the future of the plant is. You know, is it going to be Lordstown Motors? Is somebody else going to come in and swoop up and take it over? We're still hoping for the best, but we really don't know, we're playing wait and see right now.
Now, Lordstown Motors is still moving forward with production plans, saying in a press release they still want to start production in late September. And of course, there is a lot riding on their success here in Lordstown. This whole region obviously was impacted when GM left. 1,500 jobs left this area in that last shutdown. And Lordstown Motors promised to bring many of those jobs back by the time they became profitable in 2025. But of course, right now we're looking at only 300 to 500 employees is the estimate. But who knows if those will stay, depending on what happens with the company.
It certainly sounds like it's becoming quite a mess out there. Hopefully somebody can come in and help to clean it up. Brandon Simmons reporting for us live. Thanks, Brandon.
Novavax today announced their late-stage trial shows its coronavirus vaccine is highly effective against symptomatic infection, including the variants. The company says the phase 3 trial involved nearly 30,000 people in the United States and Mexico. There were 63 cases of COVID-19 in the placebo group, but only 14 in the vaccinated group. When you crunch all those numbers together, it means that the 2-dose vaccine was 90.4% effective. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, joins us now. Monica, so why is it not likely that this vaccine will join the other three anytime soon?
Well, Novavax is a small American company based in Maryland, received $1.6 billion from the U.S. government to get its vaccine made, and they owe us 100 million doses. And while their study results are on par with Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, it will likely get approval in another country before it gets approval here for a couple of reasons. Novavax plans to seek emergency use approval here by the end of September, but the FDA may not be giving it out anymore.
Really working on vaccine hesitancy, not on vaccine supply anymore. The FDA may ask that the EUA process not be used for these vaccines anymore. I think also there's a manufacturing issue, which is that there have been some supply chain issues, and so the vaccine won't be really available in large numbers until September.
So that would mean the company would have to go for FDA full approval, which will take a few more months. And the Novavax shot is really needed elsewhere, countries that are experiencing a shortage. So the company is also applying for approval in Britain, the European Union, India, and South Korea. And another benefit, it's effective against that Delta variant that's predominant in India and has now been found in Ohio. So if the FDA nixes the emergency use process, Novavax would have to apply for a full FDA license, which again would require a few more months of data before that could be given out. And it will likely be the fourth shot in the U.S., but probably not for some time. And the chances are it's going to come around maybe winter into next year and be a booster regardless. You know, that could be the hope.
Okay.
Well, you talked about it kind of benefiting other countries as well, but what about here in the U.S.? Where's the kind of niche that it's going to fit into?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be the booster because all the vaccine makers agree that boosters are going to be needed, and Novavax uses a protein-based technology. So it's the tried and true method of many of our normal vaccines. So it could do a really, really good job at protecting you even if you've received another type of vaccine. So that's the benefit there.
Great information. Monica, thanks.
Sure.
Well, we have some breaking news to tell you about when it comes to the Cleveland Indians, and this is a rough blow for a team that just can't seem to get any closer to the first-place Chicago White Sox. The Indians today placing Shane Bieber, you'll remember he was last year's Cy Young Award winner in the American League, on the injured list. It's technically the 10-day injured list, but manager Terry Francona saying that he's going to shut Bieber down for 2 weeks, at which time he's going to get retested. And if you watched yesterday's game at all, you could just tell this wasn't the same Shane Bieber that won the Cy Young last year. Shoulder tightness has been the problem. His record is 7-4, but yesterday he really got hit around the park pretty good. Gave up 5 runs, all earned in just 5 2/3 of an inning. And this really hurts the Indians because they're already down a starting pitcher. Zach Plesac, of course, with the fractured thumb, has been on the injured list for quite some time. Bieber lost some velocity in his fastball yesterday, and it was obvious something was wrong. And so now he'll start on the 10-day disabled list, going on there before tonight's game, which the Indians are in at Progressive Field to take on the Orioles. Tough blow there, Bets.
Definitely. Well, changing directions to the buzz that's all around the cicadas here in Ohio. And here's another story about that. The Pizza Bandit in Dayton showed off its new spicy Thai cicada pie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The pizza is topped with cheese and veggies,
Why?
a spicy Thai sauce, and cicadas. The restaurant says it blanched and sauteed the local creatures, so there's that. And it also baked the bug's wings right into the crust. Now, before you really start to freak out, keep in mind it's not for sale yet. They're getting a lot of attention about it, though. The owner is working with the local health department to determine if it can legally be sold. Now, this, of course, coming right on the heels of the FDA saying, folks, please don't eat the cicadas. So I'm not quite sure that they're going to get approval on that one.
What was the name of that pizza place? Bandits?
The Pizza Bandits.
Yeah, well, they didn't get the FDA memo about not eating cicadas. Betsy, when it's so common sense that it needs to actually be issued from the FDA not to do it, let's just not go there.
Well, and, I mean, kudos to them. Major props, because they're getting play, right?
Free advertisement.
It's free advertising.
Yeah.
Hey, come and get a cicada pie. Oh, we don't have the cicada pie. Here's pepperoni.
They're
That's
brilliant.
Genius.
But
like, I now know about the Pizza Bandit.
I hope no one buys one.
But the cicada pie.
And they're sauteed so that they must be
They're blanched.
Yeah, let's bring them on. I'll have my pizza without the cicadas, please. Okay, we're just getting started on what's new. Coming up, the Senior Center in Menor is reopening for the first time in more than a year. That is welcome news to everyone that lives there. We are there, and we're bringing you that story coming up.
Plus, a new biopic project is in the works on legendary comedian Bernie Mac's life, and an Ohio native is heavily involved. We'll have that story coming up in Pop Break.
And Jason Fraser is in for Matt Wintz today. Jason joins us live from Progressive Field. Jason, a very good Monday afternoon to you.
Hey there, and a very good Monday afternoon to you as well. They are doing some practice here, hence the reason why you hear the lovely music behind me. It is an absolutely gorgeous night here at Progressive Field. We're talking about clear skies, and you know what? If you were thinking about going out tonight, maybe you're doing a little indoor dining, maybe some outside dining, I'm talking about 2 green thumbs up, a perfect night for getting outside. So how long is this humidity going to last? When are we going to get some refreshing weather, and when are we talking about our next chance for some rain showers? I am answering all of those questions when I return.
Yeah. Yep, still with you.
Well, when we talk about reopening following the pandemic, we often think of kids in schools and adults who go to work. But our Romney Smith spent some time at the Mentor Senior Center for their first day open in more than a year.
The pandemic closed the Mentor Senior Center on March 16th of 2020, but it reopened today with plenty to do.
Today we are opening 4 activity rooms. We have our fitness center available, our library, our game room, which has 3 pool tables, and our great room.
With a handful of women playing cards and men shooting pool, everything seemed great for the spot that can see upwards of 800 seniors a day.
Well, I like a little of everything. The meals, of course, and then your pool rooms and stuff like that.
But there was one activity everyone was talking about.
Working out. Those folks, their feedback has been 14 months was a really long time and I am really out of shape. So they're excited to be back working out again.
It was literally all smiles in the gym. As others relaxed socializing with friends in person, something they hadn't done in a year, plans were being made to meet again.
Tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Okay, so in about 2 weeks, phase 2 of their reopening plan will open here at the Mentor Senior Center because they know that even more and more seniors will stop by to participate in everything they have to offer.
Yeah, so we know they have cards and pool and working out, but what about classes? Are they going to add any classes for them?
Yes, Jay, they're going to have in-person fitness classes and health education. And the reason is because apparently seniors did exactly what we did during the pandemic, which is binge watch TV, eat, and gain weight. So they all are health-focused activities, but they'll be in person.
I'm sure they'll be fit as ever in just a matter of weeks. Romney, thank you very much.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Well, our Jason Fraser is soaking up the sun, just like his wife Romney there that you just saw. He's at Progressive Field today. And Jason, look at him. He is loving this.
Oh, yes. I'm absolutely, come on. Anytime I get to go to Progressive Field and I get to charge the company, I mean, it's a good thing. I don't care what anybody says.
We
it's a
really
good thing.
had to twist his arm to get him out the door today. It was definitely
it was just really hard, Betsy. And you know what? I mean, today was just one of those days where we had a mixed bag of a day. We had some severe thunderstorm watches just south and east of our area. And right now here at Progressive Fields, you'll notice behind me here, I mean, we have clear skies. It's still fairly warm outside. And because we're here at Progressive Field, I want to tell you what the Indians can expect for tonight. We are talking about temps in the 70s and partly cloudy skies. And we'll see a light north wind from about 5 to about 8 miles per hour. Now, as far as the radar goes right now, overall, we're seeing just a little bit of cloud cover across northeast Ohio, but the majority of us are seeing mainly sunny skies. A much wider view on the satellite and radar. You'll notice to our west, we do have some drier air. That clear air is going to be moving across our area here over the next couple of days. So the good news here is that we are going to end up getting some very calm weather over the next couple of days. Let's talk about these temps right now. Here in downtown Cleveland, 73 degrees, 75 in Medina, 76 over in Norwalk. A much wider view. You'll notice regionally that we have a warm pocket of air to our west over in Lincoln, Nebraska, where they're in the low to mid 90s. And that air right now is being blocked by the upper levels, by the jet stream. But you're going to notice here over the next couple of days, we're going to get some cooler weather in here. And when I say cooler weather, I'm talking about more refreshing. But look at what happens over, I'll say, the next 5 days. That jet stream retreats northward And then we are talking about getting in some much warmer temperatures here in Northeast Ohio. Let's go hour by hour, sponsored in part by our friends at National Design Mart. So you'll notice here that for the most part, many of us will see on and off again cloud cover tonight. Can't rule out the possibility of a pop-up rain shower. Not expecting anything severe. Overnight, we'll drop down into the upper 50s and low 60s. Tomorrow morning, I think overall it'll be a pretty nice morning. And then by the afternoon time, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds with temps topping out in the 70s. Here's a look right now to Union Home Mortgage, 7-day outlook, topping out tomorrow in the mid-70s. Our coolest day of the week is going to be on Wednesday, where we will only top out in the lower end of the 70s. But by Friday, that's going to be our next chance for some rain showers, and we will top out then right around the low 80s. But you know what? Get outside, enjoy yourself tonight. And tomorrow, definitely make sure that you know what, you grab the sunglasses just like me here and just take in all of this beautiful spring-like weather, because you know what, as of this weekend, it's going to officially be the first day of summer, and I'm looking forward to it.
I can tell you're really crushed about that whole situation that's going on out there in the whole forecast. Jason, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. Up next for us here on What's New, the YouTube Pride Month celebration is putting together quite a star-studded lineup. We'll tell you some of the names that are expected to perform.
And we've all heard of guard dogs, but how about a guard squirrel?
Oh, that's your favorite animal, Jay.
Yeah. Seriously, I mean, the video and the story are incredible, and it's coming up. It's our worth the watch.
Oh, wait, is it time for me already? Oh, shit. Here I come. Thank you.
Well, Ohio natives John Legend's production company will be hard at work on a new documentary on the legendary comedian. Plus, decades after its original release, Nina Simone's Feelin' Good is finally getting a music video. Here's Kiera Cotton with all the details.
The legendary comedian Bernie Mac certainly left his mark on the nation. And according to reports, Ohio native John Legend's production company Get Lifted has inked a deal with his estate to produce a feature film about his life. The news was announced by Legend's business partner Mike Jackson during a panel discussion at the Tribeca Film Festival. For Legend, it's a full circle moment after working with Mac on Soul Man, one of the comedian's last projects. Bernie Mac died in August of 2008 due to complications of pneumonia.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
56 years after its original release in 1965, there's now an official video for Nina Simone's Feeling Good. The video was produced by Dove, the Crown Act, the Nina Simone Charitable Trust, and more. The video highlights 4 generations of black women as they live their best lives, loving their hair and expressing themselves confidently. According to reports, the video aims to continue Simone's legacy, tell stories that inspire black women empowerment, and oppose societal expectations and beauty standards. The legendary Nina Simone passed away in 2003 at the age of 70. And the Pride Month celebrations continue. Elton John and partner David Furnish have been tapped to join this year's YouTube Pride celebration. The power couple will host their own soiree as part of the multi-hour star-studded virtual event. Those watching will see performances, special guests, challenges, and so much more. Elton John and David Furnish will join the likes of Demi Lovato, Trixie Mattel, Ali Alexander, and so many more who will also host a part of the event. YouTube Pride 2021 is set to take place Friday, June 25th.
And the annual Westminster Dog Show took place over the weekend, and there's a new celebrity in the dog world. A 3-year-old Pekingese named Wasabi took Best in Show at the competition. And how cute is that little guy, guys?
I just can't imagine brushing that thing. Like, they're so cute. I know they're sweet dogs. I know not all of them have all the hair. A lot of people trim them down.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the upkeep? That's a high-maintenance little pooch.
You know, I predicted that this dog would win because it's always, and nothing against the dog, cute little dog, but it's always like,
the fluffy little small
really?
ones.
I don't know anybody that has a pet that looks like that.
Yeah. That one, there's a lot of maintenance happening there.
Pristine care.
And can I just say really quick, the Nina Simone video that's coming out. In 2018, Nina Simone was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lauryn Hill sang that song, Feeling Good, as part of the ceremony. It stopped everything. It was so fantastic. It was just a wonderful moment. So I'm glad she's getting the props.
And John Legend just sung it at Joe Biden's inauguration, so it's still in rotation, very much so.
Huge.
All right. Kiara, thanks. We appreciate it. Well, today's Worth the Watch is a good one. It's about a squirrel, and he is earning his keep. A Turkish jeweler rescued a squirrel that he's named Memikin and his brother after their mom died tragically 3 months ago. One day he realized that Memikin would not let anyone but him near the cash register. The squirrel actually swats at anyone who puts their hand near the cash register except the owner. He knows you're not supposed to be in there. So the jeweler actually said he moves Memikin away when his staff actually needs to use the register. Memikin is recovering from a paw injury and will return to the wild when he's healed.
Yeah, right.
So there you have it, your first guard squirrel. Look at him.
That little squirrel is like, I'm living my best life. I am never leaving this place.
Why would he?
He's living it up. He's got people that come to see it. Look, he gets to run around.
Incredible.
Yeah. So cute.
It's a cool story.
It is.
Guard squirrel.
Who knew?
The owner treats him well.
That's what we're here for, everybody. Guard squirrels. All right, ahead in the next half hour of What's New, Dennis Kucinich became known as Cleveland's boy mayor in the 1970s. Well, now the question is, could there be another term in his future? We have that story coming up at 5:30.
And what a weekend at Progressive Field as more than 60,000 Indian fans came out to watch the 3-game series. Mike Polk Jr. tells us what's new for home games at Progressive now that the COVID restrictions are gone.
And, Father's Day coming up quick. Jay, have you received a little something special?
Not yet. No, it's usually, on Sunday, I'm sure I'll hear from both of my children.
Yeah.
Hope.
Dad, can you do this for me? That's typically the way it goes at our house.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to check out some ideas if you haven't picked up the perfect present just yet. We'll be right back.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, okay, yeah. So live here at Progressive Field, we were talking about the weather this evening. I mean, we are talking about temperatures that are going to be very comfortable. Okay.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Now at 5:30, here are 3 things you need to know. Just a few moments ago, former U.S. Congressman and Cleveland Mayor Dennis Kucinich announced he will run for Cleveland mayor again. He previously served as mayor in the 1970s. A few months ago, he filed paperwork with the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections to see if he could raise money for a potential mayoral bid. Currently, 5 others have formally announced their plans to run for mayor. We'll bring you more details on the announcement tonight on What Matters Most at 6.
And that's incredible. 5 decades ago.
Yeah, a whole lifetime ago.
That's crazy. All right, there's trouble at Lordstown Motors in Mahoning County. The chief executive officer and chief financial officer both resigning today. This morning, an internal investigation revealed that company leaders made misstatements about the demand for an electric pickup truck. It's not the first sign of trouble either for the company. Just last week, we learned that the company doesn't have enough money to start production on its Endurance pickup truck. The company hoped it would be the first one to market. Despite the setbacks, it still plans to start production in late September. There is a lot riding on this company. The entire region, you'll remember, was hit hard when General Motors pulled out of there a few years ago.
And there could be another vaccine on the market soon. Novavax announced its late-stage trial shows its COVID vaccine is highly effective against the virus and the variants. The trial involved 30,000 people from the U.S. and Mexico. There were 63 cases of COVID in the placebo group, 14 in the vaccinated group, making it 90.4% effective. The company says it's 93% effective against the variants. This company plans to file for emergency use authorization in September. And with that, we say welcome back to What's New on this beautiful Monday afternoon. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford.
It's almost here.
Yeah.
6 days away for that first day of summer now. Boy, last weekend was gorgeous. Last weekend was summer weather, man.
Yeah.
So there's our countdown. It's officially 6 days away. And Betsy, as we're talking summer, I wanted to use this opportunity to show you what I believe is one of the most beautiful images I have seen of a Put-in-Bay sunset in a long time. This is gorgeous. It's taken by a buddy of mine, Joey Cassell of New Departure Films. I used a drone. This was Saturday night. Now, I also was on the lake Saturday, and I took a similar sunset shot. I'm not going to show mine because I'm embarrassed. I mean, this is a Picasso, folks.
That is amazing.
And it's so beautiful. I think I'm going to get that blown up and framed. It's gorgeous. One of my favorite places in the world.
Sunsets are very pretty, but you put the clouds in there, and that's just the icing. They really make a big difference.
Well, today's top talker is about our Cleveland Indians. Some of you may have had a chance to get down to Progressive Field over the weekend. Games are now able to be at full capacity. That's for the first time since 2019. Total of 60,000 plus fans took in the 3 games between the Indians and the Mariners between Friday and Sunday. But if you haven't been able to get down there yet, you might be wondering how things look different and how they feel different now that the games are able to be at full capacity. Mike Polk Jr. talked to the experts about how to stay safe and what to expect. Also, what's new at the ballpark this year.
Howdy, folks. Well, for over a year now, I've primarily been speaking to you from right here in my basement. Now that the state is reopening and Papa Bear is vaxxed to the max, it's time to get back out there. Like many of you, one of the things I really missed last summer was going to baseball games. I mean, sure, I was technically in the stands the whole season last year, but being there in cardboard cutout form just isn't the same. That's why when the Indians announced that they were reopening at full capacity, I was over the moon. But I still had some lingering questions about the reopening and how we're supposed to approach it safely. So, before heading back into the park, I decided to chat with Dr. Joseph Cabaza of the Cleveland Clinic. Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Ohio is reopening. That's exciting, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's really refreshing.
I'm vaccinated, but I'm sitting next to an unvaccinated person at an Indians game. You're allowed to take your masks off. There's no masks and stuff now. Am I risking this person by sitting next to them at an Indians game?
A vaccinated person would have to be very sick, have a very high viral load to really be shedding enough virus outdoors that's directly landing in an unvaccinated person's face, essentially, to have those droplets get in and transmit infection. So already the odds are very low for you to even have COVID if you're vaccinated, because certainly across the board, if you are vaccinated, you are in a very good boat at avoiding any serious illness related to COVID, if any illness at all.
After the good doctor gave me the reassurance I'd requested, it was time to revisit an old friend on the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Curtis, this feels so amazing. I'm back here watching baseball in my hometown.
Beginning now, you can come to the ballpark, you can wear your mask, you can not wear your mask. It's optional.
People can feel comfortable coming down here, checking out a ball game, and no worries right now.
You know, we're still maintaining a lot of the protocols. You'll still see all the hand sanitizer stations all over, and safety is a priority for us.
Well, it is great to be back here. I'm going to do a quick dash around to make sure that everything's still the way I remember it to be.
Do what you need to do.
Thank you. It's real. We're back, baby. Okay. I checked. Everything's still the same and awesome. It's great that everything's opening back up and people are getting back together again. It's also totally understandable that some might be hesitant to dive back into crowds after spending the last year being constantly warned to avoid them. We should allow everybody to proceed back to normalcy at their own preferred pace and comfort level. But for me, it was just great to be around both live baseball and live people again. And to top it all off, I was bestowed with a very special gift.
I want to present you with your cardboard cutout from last year.
This was representing me last year, and he had way better seats than I ever have had. Thank you from the 3 of us for bringing us back into the magic of baseball, and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Go Tribe.
Go Tribe is right.
This is Mike Polks, getting back out there for 3 News.
I like the glasses look on Mike. I think he should go back to those.
Those are his very interesting guy glasses.
You know, I'm not going to miss anything about the pandemic, but there's one thing that I will be sad to see go, and that's the backdrop of Mike's Zoom calls.
I'm pretty sure that it's portable, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to land somewhere in the newsroom because Mike doesn't let his props go easily.
I love this, just the subtleties, the red velvet curtains. I mean, anybody else tries that, and it's going to come off as very cheasy.
Anybody else is doing it on a green screen. His is legit.
I know it is. I know. It's great.
You know, it'll be very interesting. I can't wait to get it back in the building because
I know
it's usually pandemonium,
in the studio.
And we have no idea what's coming or when. That's the other part of it, certainly. Well, since we have another beautiful night for a baseball game, we decided to send our Jason Fraser out to Progressive Field.
Jason, what's coming up in the forecast? How's it look for tonight's game?
So overall, I'm expecting dry conditions. However, within the last 15 minutes, we've actually seen a pop-up shower develop over across Lake Erie. Coming up for you in a little bit, I'll let you know if it's going to impact the game and when we are going to see some refreshing temperatures across Northeast Ohio.
right, very good, Jason. We'll see you soon. Coming up next on What's New, Father's Day is this weekend. We're going to talk about what Dad really wants this year. Goodbye, Jason. Plus, we're going to share some of your creative gift ideas, and there's some pretty good ones out there.
Okay, I read this and I went, what? Because we have What's New with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
We'll have the details on his new career path ahead and clicking in Cleveland.
He's the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm telling you what, hopefully no swans involved this time.
Yes, I am. We are talking about what Johnny Manziel is up to in Clicking in Cleveland.
Our Jason Fraser is soaking up the sun at Progressive Field today. Jason, I guess I should say soaking up the sun for now, because as we know, we're keeping a close eye on that radar, and where you see sunshine, there very well could be some rain coming right before the game starts.
Yeah, and you know what? This has really been the theme all day long. I mean, we've had some clouds, we've had clearing skies. We earlier today also had a severe thunderstorm watch for 2 of our counties, including Tuscarawas County. Now things are looking pretty good here at Progressive Field, but as Betsy mentioned, as we go to the maps, I want to show you what's happening right now. We do have a couple of what I like to call pop-up thunderstorms that may impact the game at some point. So satellite and radar, things are looking good, but as we move just to the north and west there, you'll notice there just across Lake Erie right now, there is just a really quick moving thunderstorm that may impact part of the practice here. I'm not expecting tonight to be a washout here at Progressive Field. Matter of fact, I think overall things should be okay. As far as temps go outside your window right now, many of you are in the 70s, including 72 at the Cuyahoga County Airport, 74 over in Elyria. And one of the other things you're going to notice here across much of the United States here is that to our west, we are seeing clearing skies. So tomorrow overall, I think is going to be a good day. It's going to be a dry one. And then Wednesday, we're going to see some refreshing air pushing across much of our region. So as we take a look at the regional temperatures, you're going to notice here that we have a dome of some very warm air to our west, including temperatures well into the 90s, including 95 over in St. Louis and 94 over in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm not expecting temperatures temperatures to get that warm here, but I am expecting temperatures to go back up in the next couple of days. Let's go hour by hour, sponsored in part by National Design Mart. So you're going to notice there, we're going to have some storms that are going to develop over Lake Erie. At some point, you may end up seeing a quick pop-up shower tonight. Not expecting widespread rain. Any showers that do pop up tonight will be fairly quick, maybe lasting about 15 to 20 minutes. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, we're expecting overall a mix of sun and clouds. One or two of you might see just a quick drizzle, but other than that, I'm expecting overall calm conditions throughout tomorrow. Here's a look right now at your Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook. So we will top out tomorrow right around 75 degrees. I think Wednesday is going to be what I'm calling our most refreshing day. We were talking about temperatures in the low 70s, and then those temperatures slowly start to creep up. We were talking about low 80s by the start of the weekend. And you know what? If you are like me and my wife, you have been counting down to the start of summer. Summer officially begins, surprisingly, this weekend. We were talking about Sunday. Wow, guys.
It is amazing, right? We've been like counting down for the last couple weeks here on what's new. Jay's favorite thing to do. He loves numbers, and so we give him a few extra to think about. But certainly, you know, people always say, once summer starts, everything is great. Well, the problem is a lot of people don't realize the meteorological summer, the astronomical summer don't always line up, and a lot of times the meteorology is the early bird.
And you know what, Betsy? I finally get to wear my short shorts, my short pink shorts. So I'm going to the beach.
Okay.
Her face,
you should hear
classic. Her face just right there is
laughing.
classic.
Everybody's like, what did he say? Jason, I did not expect that from you. You got me on that one.
Nobody has. We don't have short shorts. Nobody has short shorts.
We're gonna make it a live shot for sure.
Okay.
We'll get everybody in on
that.
Yes. Jason, thank you so much, you goofball. Be careful.
Absolutely.
We'll see you back here at 7.
We'll have to check his Twitter page for that.
I guess,
you know,
yeah. Keep us
Instagram,
updated.
Facebook, the whole thing. Put it all out there.
Jason.
All right, remember all the things that your dad has done for you over the years? 2-minute account, of course. Well, this weekend is time to remind him how much he means to you. It's Father's Day, and the #1 gift on the wish list is family time. And I can vouch for that. Other gift ideas this year include upgrading Dad's work from home office. It's a balance board from Fluid Stance that basically will help Dad stay active while working and work on that core.
It gives you enough movement to matter when you're stuck in those places like your desk or on a Zoom, but not too much that it impacts your keystroke productivity. You just have to invest in the tools that give us the movement and the freedom to be the best we are.
Now, you could also get Dad tickets to a ball game, maybe a concert, and even better, get to and go with them. Just a dad and daughter or son day. There are also several subscription boxes like the Craft Beer Club and the Gentleman's Box, which has men's clothes and accessories, things like that, ties, socks, and you know how the subscription boxes, one a month comes, and then, it's like it's the gift that keeps giving. You get a gift a month, so that's also nice too.
So when you're sitting here and you're thinking and you're like, oh, I just need some more ideas. Do what we do. We turn to our What's New Facebook page. We have everybody in there. And of course, we asked what's the most creative Father's Day gift that they've either given or received. Barbara McPherson said her daughter gave her husband coupons for a day of fishing together. I totally did the coupon thing as a kid.
That works.
Here's a coupon for one snuggle.
How old were you, Bets?
Oh, I did that up until I was probably 35 or 36.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Not a little kid gift.
You know, Mark Lowry, who's actually a friend of the show, a good friend of the show, said, I took my dad to Dyersville, Iowa on Father's Day, and we played catch in the outfield. That's where they shot the movie Field of Dreams. I know Mark well, huge baseball fan, and he and Dad have been doing baseball games together for decades.
Well, this is really cool. Margaret Sondy told us she gave her dad this flask with the words, "Dear old dad." Now look at that thing. Look how beat up it is. This is how he would sign his notes and letters, "Dear old dad," which is so cute. So he had this flask. Well, Margaret says he carried it on so many fishing trips and adventures in the woods, and she found it years later when cleaning out her parents' house.
Wow.
Isn't it beautiful?
That is beautiful.
I love those sentimental gifts.
And that's like a one-of-a-kind gift that would, you know, and it's got a lifetime of meaning. My daughter one year, she was probably 15, bought this book, and I still have it, and I look at it from time to time, and it's absolutely beautiful. each page has a reason that she thinks I'm special.
Oh.
And then the book prompts you to write something, and she wrote in her own words what made me the most fun dad, what made me the most caring dad, and it's one of my prized possessions. And I just looked at it just a couple of months ago. I came across it, and you get teary-eyed now because now she's a parent and she knows what that role is all about, and I'll never forget when she gave it to me.
That
It was
is
very
so
special.
sweet. Usually I just call my dad and go, Daddy, which means I want something.
Yeah, the request follows that. This isn't a how
Daddy,
you
you know
doing
how much
call.
I love you, right?
Yeah, sure. I get those calls from Kirsten. You can join this conversation and more on our What's New Facebook page.
This has been so fun.
I'm telling you, it's loads of fun. And here's what you do. You head to Facebook and you search 3 What's New. And it'll take you to the group, and then we'll give your membership careful consideration.
Yeah, you have to be escorted in.
That's right, and then we'll approve you. And then you can post in the group, you can ask questions, we'll ask your opinions on things, and we'll share stories and photos in the Facebook group and as well here on TV.
And that little post there, we won an Emmy over the weekend.
Oh, we did, and I wanted to publicly say congratulations to you and our entire staff who's just worked so hard on this, and we're very proud of that.
We've shouted her out before, but Monique Zappa is our main producer, our senior producer. She is the heart and soul of this show, so a lot of the credit goes to her.
So congrats to us.
Yay, we get to celebrate, certainly. All right, let's move on now. That's about how long the celebration takes because we are hard at work here. And next on What's New, one of the thrill rides at Cedar Point provided a different kind of thrill for the riders there over the weekend.
Kind you don't want.
Yeah, we're going to tell you what happened.
It's the dismount.
That's a good way to put it.
That made all the difference. Then wait until you hear this principal. He's going to try to sing a Whitney Houston classic song to his graduates. You know it's either going to be really good or really bad, or we wouldn't be showing it to you. Which one is it? Find out in our Show Us Something Good.
It's time now to see what is clicking in Cleveland. For that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, here we are, the start of yet another week. A lot of folks who are probably out and about Northeast Ohio, specifically at Cedar Point. And when I saw this first story you're going to talk about, I went, whoa.
Whoa is right. They definitely got a surprise that you don't necessarily want, but we do know why Cedar Point guests had to be escorted off of the Gatekeeper roller coaster this weekend. Just imagine, this is what the riders saw leading up to the moment when they got stuck on the tracks. Now, park spokesperson Tony Clark tells 3 News the coaster stopped on the lift hill after this lift chain that you see right here got separated. Now, the riders had to walk down a staircase alongside the lift hill in order to get off. Clark says the safety system did what it was supposed to do and everyone was escorted safely off the ride. Pretty scary though. The first show back in Playhouse Square is extending its stay in Cleveland.
And we are the Choir of Man.
So wake me up when it's over.
The Choir and Man will now run through July 25th instead of packing up on July 11th. That's after the opening show this weekend when the cast announced the extension, then led the audience out of the theater to Euclid Avenue for an encore performance under the GE chandelier. How cool would that be? The extra shows won't have the same social distancing rules as the performances through July 11th, and the link to buy those tickets is on WKYC.com. All right, 6 years after his last NFL snap, Florida Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel says he wants to be a pro golfer. In a new feature for Esquire, Manziel talks about golf bringing him peace and how he's more committed to golf than he was with football. But these are the most recent golfing videos that Manziel posted on his Instagram page, and it looks a lot more like a party than a strict training regimen. Although Manziel says now that if he stays out late drinking, he still gets up for an 8 a.m. tee time to play 18 holes 5 days a week. You know, he's 28 now, and he says he's giving himself to 40 to make the PGA Tour, Jay and Betsy. Johnny Golf doesn't quite have the same ring as Johnny Football, but from what we see here, I think it will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, and it looks like he's taking his golf career as seriously as he took his football career.
He said he's taking it more seriously than football, which, by the way, football is what was paying the bills. So this is super fun to figure out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He is a good golfer, but I wouldn't wait for him to make the tour
Not
anytime
PGA.
soon. No, I don't think so. Stephanie, thanks. We appreciate it. Show us something good coming back after the break. It's a cool story.
Hi, Alt. I do. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, bestie. Congratulations.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Laura Queso's mic.
Give me a nice big old smile.
Hi. Surrounded by support staff and his wife Elizabeth here in Tremont, where he used to live.
Yep, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon's microphone. We're still here in windy Lordstown, Ohio.
Our show of Something Good is great today. It comes from a high school principal in North Carolina who wanted to let his recent group of graduates know how he really felt about them. So he did what all good principals do. He sang in public, but not just any song, a Whitney Houston song. And listen, he nails it.
And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Are you kidding me right now? I mean, first of all, it takes huge guts to try to sing that, but he nailed it.
Totally. Well,
we
thank
need
you.
more like him.
Yeah, no, my gosh, and definitely more voices like that. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon, watching What's New.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, another hat in the ring. Dennis Kucinich formally announces he's running for Cleveland mayor again. We're live with the details and a look back at what his past 2-year tenure would now mean for the city. Top executives resign. The CEO and CFO of Lordstown Motors are out just a week after the company announced it is struggling to stay in operation. What it means for workers. Asking for approval. A new and fourth COVID vaccine with a high efficacy rate is now in the mix. We break down the trial results from Novavax and faces of COVID.
When I look at him, I just see so much of her.
1 year later, and the pain remains. We check in with the father raising 2 sons alone after his wife passed from the virus 1 year ago.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. It is official. Former U.S. Congressman Dennis Kucinich is running for Cleveland mayor again.
He made that announcement about an hour ago.
Our city needs a steady, experienced, healing hand in these divisive times. As mayor, I will seek to unify our city by meeting the challenges to safety and security which exist in every neighborhood.
We'll look into what all this means in just a moment, but right now let's go to Lena Lai, live in Tremont, with more on today's announcements. Lena, good evening to you.
Good evening, Russ. Yes, name recognition is Dennis Kucinich's main advantage in this mayoral race. You know, earlier today he was out here in Tremont to officially announce his bid for Cleveland mayor. And as you know, he is very much a familiar name in Northeast Ohio politics and U.S. politics, having served as mayor for a couple of years in 77 and 79, served as a congressman for 16 years in the late 90s and early 2000s. He ran for U.S. president for a couple of times in a couple of failed bids, also ran for governor. So now he is circling back to where his political career began. He was surrounded by staff members, his wife Elizabeth, as he made his official announcement, and really trying to make clear that he is not the same person as he was when he served as mayor in what many describe as a disastrous two years as mayor in the late 70s. He's more contemplative now, also focusing on violent crime concerns in Cleveland. He is proposing adding some 400 plus police officers to the streets, adding some 100 safety assistants to the force to specialize in nonviolent incidents. Here's what he had to say about how he would fund it.
The city makes choice and priorities. The city has a rainy day fund with tens of millions of dollars. It's raining bullets in some of our neighborhoods, okay? We're going to tap that. The city's getting $541 million from the federal government. We're going to tap those funds. We have an urgent need right now. We can't wait.
So Kucinich throwing his hat into the ring. The filing deadline was on Wednesday. So now, again, Russ, his name recognition is going to be his key advantage, especially in a field that is not quite yet crowded.
Yeah, the race just got more interesting, to say the least. Lena Lai, thank you. And Kucinich will potentially face at least 5 major candidates, including 2 who were not yet born when he was mayor.
As Mark Namick explains, the race has no front-runner, but Kucinich's quest to reclaim City Hall promises to steal some of the spotlight.
31-year-old Dennis Kucinich became the youngest mayor of any major American city.
I know the people do not want me to submit to the blackmail of Cleveland Trust or the city council.
A combative style led to a messy 2-year tenure. But he was really defined by his refusal to sell the city's power company, a decision that saved residents millions in cheaper rates, but forced the cash-strapped city into default.
The city of Cleveland did not get its financial problems overnight.
Today, Cleveland's a very different place. So is Kucinich. The city's finances are solid, and Muni Light, since renamed Cleveland Public Power, no longer offers cheaper rates. The most pressing issues are poverty and gun violence, something four-term Mayor Frank Jackson couldn't figure out how to contain. Kucinich, now 74, is more thoughtful than the brash councilman with the mop haircut who once railed against the establishment. His entrance into the race official only after he collects 3,000 signatures from Cleveland voters. He's proven to know how to grab headlines and populist sentiment on the campaign trail. His major challengers include Council President Kevin Kelly, State Senator Sandra Williams, former Councilman Zach Reed, Councilman Bashir Jones, and nonprofit executive Justin Bibb, the latter two born after Kucinich was out of office. With no clear frontrunner, Kucinich's name recognition is an advantage, but his legacy, which includes the city's biggest black eye and accusations that he once played racial politics, could be used against him. Kelly, who's locked up a lot of union support and donations from the corporate community, will likely exploit it. The two share a base of voters on the city's west side.
There's a lot at stake for Clevelanders and for the next mayor, who will have the chance to reshape City Hall after Mayor Jackson's 16 years in office. As for the politician simply known as Dennis, it's a chance to redefine a legacy. But to have a shot at redemption, he'll first have to convince voters he's changed. I'm Mark Namick, 3 News.
And as Lena pointed out, the filing deadline for the September primary is Wednesday, but candidates will not officially be in until their voters' signatures are verified. Here's what else is happening tonight. Ohio has reached an $88 million settlement with pharmacy benefit manager Centene, following a lawsuit alleging the company was charging double to the state's Department of Medicaid. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost said today Centene initiated those negotiations and the state did not seek out the settlement. Centene also reached a settlement today with the state of Mississippi for similar allegations.
Is it a sign of trouble or the beginning of a turnaround? Both the CEO and CFO at Lordstown Motors resigned this morning, leaving many wondering about the future of the electric truck manufacturer. Our Brandon Simmons has details on the jobs and the auto industry comeback at stake.
Just got a good look at the future.
The announcement came with much fanfare. The auto industry in Lordstown was making a comeback with the introduction of Lordstown Motors, the company hoping to produce the first electric pickup truck in the country. But the road to success has been bumpy, to say the least. This morning, the company's CEO Steve Burns and CFO Julio Rodriguez both resigning from their positions. This comes after last week's earnings report that revealed the company doesn't have enough capital to stay in business after next year, and an investigation that found the amount of demand for the truck may have been misstated.
And I think that the first resort to correction that the board should take, and indeed apparently in this case did take, is firing the CFO and the CEO.
Case Western Reserve University professor Juscelino Colares says the shakeup doesn't spell the end of the company, but the odds of success are less likely each day.
You can't just rely on your existing capital. Otherwise, you won't survive.
And the survival of Lordstown Motors has a regional impact. The company hoped to become profitable by 2025, creating 1,500 jobs along the way. Lordstown's mayor says he tries to remain optimistic, but it's been tough.
I was really shocked. They've been getting they've had a bad run here for the last couple months, between lawsuits and then they missed a property tax payment.
So far, Mayor Arnold Hill estimates there are only 300 to 500 people working at the plant, adding that the village doesn't base its budget on the company's success.
We're wondering what the future of the plant is. Is it going to be Lordstown Motors? Is somebody else going to come in and swoop up and take it over?
Now, the key to survival here is simple. More money, more money, more money. If they can't come up with that, then obviously the company could either close or someone else steps in and takes over, as the mayor said. And of course, right now, Lord, there's an interim CEO and CFO in charge of steering the company in the right direction.
We just have to wait and see there. All right, Brandon Simmons, thank you so much.
There is promising news on the vaccine front tonight, but the latest weapon against coronavirus may be needed in other countries before it wins approval here. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, has more on this new vaccine and the possible holdup.
Novavax's COVID study shows its vaccine is 90% effective, 100% effective in preventing moderate to severe disease, and perhaps most important, showed 93% efficacy against virus variants, including the Delta variant. A more contagious version originally found in India has now reached Ohio. Novavax plans to seek emergency use approval in September, but it may be too late.
And we're really working on vaccine hesitancy, not on vaccine supply anymore. The FDA may ask that the EUA process not be used for these vaccines anymore.
That means the company would have to wait a few more months to apply for full approval, but it will definitely be useful as a boost.
The U.S. is going to need booster shots later this year, and I think our vaccine will be very useful for that.
Novavax is a protein-based vaccine, very similar to the tried-and-true vaccines we're familiar with.
Rather than delivering the message for how to make the spike protein, this is just delivering the protein all by itself, along with some other matrix material to stimulate the immune system. This would be similar to something like a diphtheria or a hepatitis B vaccine.
Novavax vials can also be stored in a regular refrigerator, which would be very useful in low-income countries. The company is also applying in Britain, the European Union, India, and South Korea. Monica Robbins, 3 News.
A welcome sight today as Menor Senior Center reopened after being closed since March of 2020 because of the pandemic. Right now, seniors can enjoy the fitness center, library, game room, and great room too. In July, the Senior Center will add in-person fitness classes and also health education classes. The center is in phase 1 of its reopening plan right now and hopes to return to normal, serving as many as 800 seniors every single day. Coming up, checking in after COVID, how one father is doing with raising 2 sons 1 year after his wife's passing, why he says he has not given up.
And Betsy is here with a look at the forecast this evening. Betsy, for much of the day, it was picture perfect.
Picture perfect, just until about the time the Tribe game's supposed to get started. Isn't that fun? No stress here. It's all good. It looks like we're going to get clipped with this next round of rain. The heaviest rain is coming toward Lorain County. Cuyahoga County, though, we are going to have a light shower that passes through, so we're going to have to do a little dance with the start of the Indians game tonight. Beyond that, things kind of open up into much cooler, drier, brighter weather. I have the latest in the forecast straight ahead.
What Matters Most is sponsored by Window Nation. Online at windownation.com.
as she went in the hospital, my expectation was that, oh, she's still coming home.
1 year ago today, a Cleveland man woke up for the first time without his wife and with a newborn baby. His wife died of COVID-19 but stayed alive in the hospital just long enough to deliver her son. She never got to meet him or say goodbye to their older son. So 1 year later, we decided to check back in with his family, who touched all of our hearts. These are the most precious giggles. You can't help but smile when you hear 1-year-old Zephaniah laugh with Dad. He may not know it now, but he never got to meet his mom, Sierra. She died of COVID 1 year ago, just moments after delivering him. The closest he got to her after her death was the blanket she was on when she delivered him. Zephaniah was eventually swaddled in it. Her scent still lingered. Dad, Ramath, says he's so much like his mom.
Focused, determined, not a quitter. If you want to do it, he's just going to do it. See, he's not stopping.
He loves Dad's beard.
Yeah, they love me, so I stick to them closely, very close.
After all, he has 2 boys. Junior was just 1 when his mom died. We met him soon after she passed.
When I look at him, I just see so much of her.
He's grown up so much in the last year.
Can you bounce your ball? Yay!
1 year later, and so much has changed for this family. A void that can only be blamed on the pandemic. Junior once did everything with his mom.
But he points to her picture all the time. When I wear my t-shirts with her face on it, or us together. Sierra breastfed him, so he went to sleep in her arms, woke up in her arms, and so that is a huge void for him because he's so used to having that closeness all the time.
He says his wife was constantly teaching Junior through Sesame Street and music, something Ramath's taken over as a single father. It's also helped him cope.
Keep a lot of ABC stuff around the house. I mean, even my voice has had to change some. I haven't given up. My name means strong tower, so I guess my mom choosing that name for me was really, as far as how my life has been.
And his little boys remind him how strong he is, how strong they all are, together.
Bounce, bounce, bounce.
They still happy, they still wake up smiling, they go to sleep smiling, still a happy home.
Ramath believes he caught COVID while working as an RTA bus driver, and he gave it to his wife. Sierra was just 23. She died a day before turning 24. Her birthday is actually today. She would have been 25, but even after all this family's been through, Ramath says he's blessed and thankful for his 2 little boys and the woman, Russ, that he loved so much.
Oh my goodness, that is an amazing story, and to see them now getting through this as best they can. What an amazing man, what an amazing family.
Yeah, and they just have this incredible bond. You feel it. I felt it when I first met him, and I felt it the other day too, so yeah. It's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
It is now 6:17 on this Monday night. Before we get to weather, I want to say, Laura Queso, congratulations to you. I want to embarrass you now. Laura Queso won 2 Emmys over the weekend for Faces of COVID series. Fantastic work, my friend.
Thank you so much, Russ. Yeah, just to get the word out there, obviously I've been passionate about that series, so yeah. It's it's stories that have to be told, but thank you. And
you've clearly done an amazing job with that. You know who also won an Emmy this weekend?
I think I know.
Her name is Betsy Kling. The 5 o'clock broadcast, What's New, won for Best Early Newscast. Congratulations to you, Jay, and the entire team, Betsy.
Yeah, it was team effort. That's the number one thing. We're kind of low on the food chain as far as getting a show on the air. The people that you actually see, it's the people behind the cameras that really make the shows happen. And I have to shout out Monique Zappa, our senior producer, and Sarah Liptak, who's producing this show, but she's also an associate producer on that show. Allison Gervin, the whole team. We're really excited about that. So, all right, that's enough of that. Let's keep moving. We have clear skies right now, but there are a few thunderstorms that are out over the lake that we're keeping an eye on. Temperatures fading back into the 60s as we go through the night tonight. You couldn't help but notice that things feel a little bit different out there. Here's a live look at the radar. Nothing on land. and then there's that. And of course, we have folks that are filling into Progressive Field at this hour. So as we take a look, we'll get a little closer in here. You can see this thing is coming gangbusters across the lake. It held together beautifully. It's been popping all kinds of lightning as it's moving to the south. Notice that the core of the heaviest rain is west of downtown Cleveland. That's some good news, but there is some rain that's still going to come down at a pretty decent clip. So right now, it kind of sounds like they're going to delay the game just a little bit tonight to let this pass. This round of rain and thunder, you may already be hearing thunder in Avon Lake and Avon right now. This is going to continue to move to the south. So anywhere from Lorain through Bay Village toward Rocky River and Lakewood, we have this rain that is coming in. We could have some gusty wind with it, maybe a little bit of hail, especially out toward the Avon Lake area. So just something to note there. A nice little drink of water on top of what has already come down today. We do have a little area of high pressure that is off to the north of us. It's kind of help to clear us out, but we're dealing with kind of a little bit of back and forth. We do have temperatures that are in the 70s, but the dew points have come down, and this is the real story as we go through the next few days, because our dew points really start to sink into much more comfortable territory. That does a couple things. It leaves us with partly cloudy skies as we go through the day tomorrow. We do have an isolated, and I do mean isolated, thunderstorm chance early in the day tomorrow, but the rest of your National Design hour-by-hour forecast looks fantastic there. And your Union Home Mortgage Outlook, look what happens over the next few days. Abundant sunshine, very comfortable conditions, Wednesday especially. Into Thursday, Friday, we'll start warming up again. Partly cloudy right now for the weekend. Looks like we could dance around a few showers Saturday morning, but then Sunday looks high and dry. Things are looking good the weekend. We'll have more details on all this, of course, online, WKYC.com. In the meantime, Jimmy's up next with sports.
I do, Al. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.